Hey guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing a new fake tanner that I am planning on trying out. So a little bit about me. I started working at a tanning salon when I was in high school, and I worked there for about 7 years. So I have been through it all with spray tans, self tans, gradual tanners, airbrush tans, even tanning beds, all of that stuff. So this is something that I know a lot about, and this is something that I thought could be useful to people that might be thinking about trying out this product but didn't want to take the risk and try it on their own without seeing. The product I'm going to be reviewing today is Bali Body's Dark Self Tanning Mousse. This is their original self tanning mousse, not their ultra dark that a lot of people are using right now. And this is just a trial size. This is about a little under 2 ounces. I wanted to try it out before fully committing to a whole bottle. I also got this tanning mitt that I will be using to apply the mousse. And in total, all of this came to about $25-ish to $30 just between the 2 items that I bought, which is not so bad. But I do want to talk about one thing that was kind of a red flag in the first moment that I got it, which was their packaging. So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with tanning products and self-tanning lotions, things of that nature, but a black package for tanning items is not ideal because this is going to heat up and it can cause some serious damage to happen to the product. And it can really break down some of the lotions, mousses, etc. So for me, I was less than thrilled to receive it in a black package. I luckily grabbed it from the mailman while he was delivering it. But even at that point, the package was a little bit warm. So that definitely is something concerning if you get this package left on your door and it's summer or something like that. It could definitely be an issue later on down the line. I always have this with me whenever I plan on using any sort of fake tan. It is California Tan's Body Buffer Exfoliator. This is so good if you're about to go get a spray tan or put on any sort of fake tan, because it completely clears off all of the dead skin, and it's made specifically to help your spray tan go on more evenly. So I am going to go and shower and exfoliate and go through all of the prep work before putting on the tan. I just got out of the shower about an hour and a half ago, and the steps that you want to take while you're showering before you put on the fake tan are to wash your body, then you're going to shave, then you're going to exfoliate using the California Tan exfoliant that I bought, and then you're gonna shave again. You could probably use most exfoliants. Just make sure that you're using one that's actually gonna get all of the dead skin off of your body. It doesn't really need to be that specific one, but that's just the one that I use. The reason why I waited about an hour and a half after showering to actually go and put the self tanner on is because I want to make sure that my skin is actually completely dry, fully dry, and that it's not at all damp or a little bit wet, because I don't want that to mess up the tan that I put on. And I just want to say this, that normally I would recommend putting the self tan on right before going to bed, so that way you have that time where you're just sleeping for it to actually let the color develop. But because we have these brand new pretty white sheets, I am not going to do that because I don't want to run the risk of staining my sheets at all. So I'm doing that right now in the middle of the day, and I'm just kind of hoping that nothing throughout the day actually messes up the color while it's developing. And then I'll be showering later tonight to rinse off all of the excess stuff, so that way I can get into the sheets without it staining my bed. So I set up my sink with some plastic bags, and I have the mitt out now. It is very velvety, which is actually very surprising. And I'm gonna go ahead and start applying this stuff. So yeah. Alright, so the tan is all on in all of the areas that it needs to be. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do your hands and your face, because this is really important. Typically speaking, I would not recommend putting self-tanner on your face, but because I don't generally wear makeup and I don't even have makeup in this color, Actually, considering how light it is, I actually might be able to pull it off. But either way, since I don't wear makeup often, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I'm gonna apply this to my face. Also to my hands, because hands are notorious for staining. So I'm spraying just a tiny bit. That actually might be too much, it's fine. Okay, so spraying a tiny bit onto the glove, and I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna, wow, that is definitely too much. Apply some to the back of my hand. Let me scrape this off. And I'm wiping the back of my hand lightly right by my knuckles. So like right behind, and gonna go up towards where my knuckles is, the side of my thumb right here, and the side of my hand right here. Making sure I get the front of my wrist and the sides. Okay, so now since I got those areas, I did not touch my knuckles. I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna dab the excess onto my hand, like that. And make sure you get in between your fingers as well, so you don't look like the crazy person with very white in between fingers and a solid brown line. There. Okay, hand one is done. And if this gets too dark, just wash your hands and you'll be fine. Blend it in, cool, good. Done with that hand. I'm actually very surprised by how light this is. I'm used to more drastic darkness at first when it comes out of the bottle, so this might actually have been too light. And you're gonna do the same thing that I'm doing here with your feet, where you tread lightly near the knuckles, but you put some on the top of your foot and also your ankles. Okay, so I actually ran out. I'm gonna dab that off and then I'm gonna blot my fingers. It actually feels like this glove is soaking up most of the color, so it's a little not great. And I'm gonna dab right on in between my fingers to the sides. There. And that should cover it. All right, now with my face. So I'm gonna just use like the tiniest bit on this glove. Literally just the tiniest bit. Make sure beforehand that you have gotten all up into here, this area of your ear, your neck, all at the nape of your neck, underneath. I could actually probably put more underneath here because I don't think I got my chin area enough. Oh, and look at that, it's already getting dissolved, so. I'm just gonna like that. And then I'm take just this tiniest dot and rub it in. Wow, there is no product on here. I could actually use a little more. Boy. Wow, this dries up quick. All right, I guess we're using more. And yes, I read on their site to make sure that this is able to be used on your face. Damn. So yeah, we can use this on our faces. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Make sure you get everywhere. Oh boy. Ears, for sure. Ooh, getting crazy with it. This ear is gonna be like real dark. I can feel it. I'm like all up in my eye right now with this. I'm getting under my nose ring. right on up in my eyebrows. Jawline. Okay, now the last thing. I'm gonna take a tiny bit, rub that right into your hairline. Oh boy. All right. Cool. My dog is in the doorway. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna let this develop for, leave it. Thor, get out. Go. Go. Thank you. So I'm gonna let this develop for about 8 hours and we'll see what happens. So far, I'm not super impressed. Ooh, hold on. Let me just tiny bit. The outside of like my lip line. I'm looking a little weird. Alright guys, if this sucks, I will be making a video on how to take off shitty tan. So, I guess we'll find out. Cool, so 8 hours, I will shower, rinse this all off, and maybe take an update vid. Hello, so done applying it, finished probably about 15 minutes ago. So a couple things that I want to go over when applying self-tan, because this is important and not everyone knows this. Make sure that after you shower and before you apply self-tan, you are not putting on lotion, except for maybe a tiny layer on your elbows and your knees to make sure that they're not dry. Because if they are dry and ashy, it's going to absorb all of the color and it's going to turn way darker. So if you apply like a thin layer and just let that dry before you apply the self-tan, it's really going to help to make sure that it doesn't absorb as much. And I know that there's a lot of people that say to moisturize before you apply the self-tan, but please listen when I say that if you do that, it's going to come out splotchy and not fully developed, because having dry skin allows that color to be absorbed fully, and so that way it comes out more even and rich. That's why I don't recommend at all wearing lotion before you put the spray tan or any sort of fake tan on, because otherwise it's going to come out looking less natural than it could. Next thing, also don't wear deodorant because it can alter the color of your underarm and give it kind of a greenish look. Make sure you're not wearing makeup because that's going to give you a patchy look as well. It probably won't even fully develop on your face if you do put makeup on. Last tip, after applying the tan, if there's a part of your body that you feel is developing too quickly and getting way too darker faster than the rest of your body, you can go ahead and just wash that body part like with water and soap, and that should stop it from developing anymore. That way it's more even. So I actually am probably going to wash my face here in like a couple hours before I wash the rest of my body, because it looks to me like my face is actually developing a little bit faster than my chest and neck area. And that's actually normal because your face skin is a little bit different than the rest of your body. Okay, last tip, I promise. So the best things to wear after you apply fake tan is loose fitted dark clothing. This is because you don't want your clothes to get stained by the spray tan, but also because you want to allow the DHA to develop more. And while it's developing, if you wear something too tight, it will get onto there. And also it can definitely stain, and your clothes can start absorbing your spray tan or your fake tan instead of your skin. So to avoid that, loose fitted and dark. So my reviews on the self tan so far, I was pretty underwhelmed by how it came out of the little pump thing that I got. One, the color was pretty uneven coming out of the bottle. It looked like there were some puffs that were a lot darker, and in that same pump it would like kind of fade to white, and that would, to me, was a little interesting. So I'm not really sure if it was just the way that the color was distributed through the solution or if it's supposed to be like that. But some pluses that I do like is that it does not smell like DHA so far. So it smells more clean. When I do try to smell for it, I can't actually smell anything just off my skin while I'm sitting here naturally. But if I like smell my arm, it smells clean. It doesn't have that weird self-tan scent, which is really nice. As far as the color goes, it looks like it's developing pretty naturally and okay so far. And I guess we'll see when I go to rinse this off. But I was really expecting this to be at least a couple shades darker, just from the get-go. So definitely underwhelmed on the darkness out of the bottle as well. But I will say that this is definitely a good product for someone that is scared of looking too dark right out the gate, and probably also for someone that's a little bit on the paler side, because it is a very light color when you apply it. I waited a little bit over 8 hours, probably closer to 9 actually. And I just got out of the shower from rinsing off the excess tan. When I did this, I just rinsed with warm water. I did not wash or scrub. So I just blotted my skin with a towel to dry off instead of actually rubbing down. So that way it didn't take off any of the tan. And so far, I like the way this looks for the most part. I would use this again if I needed to look a little bit darker for an event or an occasion of some type. It does look pretty natural for the most part. So far, the only thing I've really noticed is that there are some spots that have turned kind of a different shade than the rest of them. Like my elbow, it looks more bruise colored, like a yellow, yellowish color versus a more bronze tone like the rest of my arm. And there's like spots on it that look like they developed lightly but not quite as much as the rest of my arm. So that could probably be touched up with a little bit of mousse. I don't think that that's a huge deal. But for the most part, it is okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm very curious to see on how this is gonna last throughout the week. Because it's so neutral right after rinsing, I'm wondering if it's going to fade very quickly. So yeah, I'm interested in seeing how long this actually lasts for. Good morning. So it is the day after I applied the self-tan, and it's fully developed. I rinsed this off yesterday, and the color is actually pretty nice. And good news, it did not stain my sheets when I went to bed last night, so I'm really happy about that. So a couple things about this product is, one, it is fading from my hands super fast. My hands were really even last night and this morning, but after washing them a few times, I don't know if you can tell, but the color's like fading off really fast from right here. Which is fine because obviously we're all going to need to be washing our hands regularly. So overall, I like this product. I would use it again because it is not too dark. It's pretty subtle. And it developed nicely and didn't have too much of a DHA smell. It did have some towards later on in the evening, but it wasn't so overwhelming that it was like giving me a headache or making me feel sick or anything like that. So it was okay. People I would recommend this product for are people that are pale, pretty pale, and maybe don't have as much experience with self-tan. This would probably be a good way to start because it isn't too dark. It's a nice enough color that you can definitely tell it's a little bit darker, but it's not drastic. For the ladies that wear makeup, or for anyone that is insecure about acne scars, do not put this on your face because it will make those scars darker, since it's going to make the rest of your face darker as well. And if you wear makeup regularly, definitely would recommend just investing in a color that's similar to this tan's color. That way you can make it look the most even, and you're not trying to figure out what colors to blend on top of it to make your face look natural. But that is overall my review. I would ultimately say that this is a pretty good product, and I'm actually happy with how it came out. Also, I wanted to show you guys this before and after picture to show you the color change and how it's pretty light. Depending on the feedback that I get on this video, I might go ahead and record a video about how this tan fades. So basically showing you guys what it looks like about a week from now, because I have no idea how this is going to fade. So I don't know if it's going to look splotchy or if it's going to come off evenly. So for anyone that's curious about that, I'll go ahead and make a video showing the progression of this as well. And this is the first review video I've made, so obviously this isn't something that I normally do, but this was actually really fun for me to make. So if you guys have any other products you'd like to see me review, hey, drop that. Drop it. So if there's any other products you'd like to see me review, let me know, and I would definitely be open to making another review video. Thanks so much for watching this video, and if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks so much!